Hi everybody, this is Phil Haloka from Complete Captive Management Services. Today we launch our next three-part series on captive service providers. Today's conversation talks about the captive manager. That's who we are. So we're going to break it down day to day, month to month, quarter to quarter, and yearly, the duties of the captive manager. So much of my time is involved in two things: interactions with other third parties and financial and insurance reporting. So the interactions with third parties, the client, the regulator, and of course other service providers, takes a lot of time during my normal workday. And this could be anything from answering questions from the regulator, providing document support to the client, or providing insights from the various attributes of the captive to other service providers so they can produce a work product. So a lot of my day is the interactions with just third parties. The other part is the reporting, both financial and insurance company reporting. If the captive is a direct writer, it is probably invoicing policy premium to the owner of the captive, the insured. And if that's the case, then the insured is paying premium into the captive, probably to the captive manager. Therefore, the invoicing and the remittance of policy premium takes a large portion of the day also. And it's an insurance company. The insurance company is going to receive claims from the insured. The captive manager is going to have to vet out those claims to make sure they are legitimate. And if they are legitimate, they're going to reimburse the insured whatever's owed to them. And remember, captives are generally reimbursement policies. Okay, so that means the insured pays the claim itself and then seeks reimbursement from their captive. Document management. The captive insurance company is heavily documented, meaning there are agreements and supportive documents on how and why the captive is functioning. It's important to be legitimate, and that legitimacy is supported by the various documents. Okay? Work product review of service providers. Now, I'm not questioning or checking the work product of, say, an auditor or an actuary, but I'm rather looking at that work product to make sure it achieves the goal for the client. So in other words, did the auditor have the right information to produce a work product that is easily understood by the client? And if it's not, the captive manager will work with the auditor to make sure that the message is crisp and clean. Then, at the end of the month, you have to close out the financials. This is important. You need to keep your financials up to date. And that happens on a month-to-month basis. So at the end of the month, you close out the financials, which means you record your premiums, you record your insurance expenses, and your SG&A expenses, if there are any, to close out your financials. If you're fronted, you will then most likely receive the bordereau report on a monthly basis. And to recap, the bordereau report is the financials collected by the fronting carrier and remitted to the captive. This is how the captive knows and understands premiums in, expenses out. Okay? Quarter over quarter. Most regulators will require the captive to file unaudited financial statements. Therefore, it's important that you maintain financial statements and you close them out because you're going to have to share them with the regulators. Not only that, you have to share them with your clients, the captive owner. The captive owner is going to want to see the financial position on a quarterly basis, as well as the claims activity. And even more so, if the captive participates in a risk pool, the captive is going to want to see the activity, the claims activity within the risk pool. Therefore, quarter over quarter, lots of people are seeing your financial statements. Okay? Corporate governance. Corporate governance requires board meetings. Okay? If you're a single parent captive, you are most likely going to have to conduct a board meeting as expressed by the bylaws. Have a corporate board meeting at least once a year. If you're in a group captive, you're likely to have an annual membership meeting once a year. And it's so very important to participate in those annual meeting events for corporate governance reasons. So, more day-to-day stuff than month-to-month and quarter-to-quarter stuff, but this happens every single month or every single day. Lots going on with the captive manager. Hope this was helpful. Next week, we're going to talk about the auditor, actuary, and the attorney. So until then, have a good week. We'll talk to you then. Bye now.